Hey everyone, this is Sabrina. I'm so excited to do another book favorites project with you guys and to share that process video. I am going to do 2 more books that were favorites in April. The first one was Barry Squires, Full Tilt, and it was an extraordinary children's book, I would say more middle school type of book. And the other one was The Bright Side Running Club. I went looking through all my Everyday Explorer stamps to see which ones kind of matched the theme, and I found one that was about practice makes progress and you did it, and I felt like that overall went with the general theme of this book, which is about Barry Squires, who's a 12-year-old growing up in Newfoundland in 1995. I'm going to talk more about this incredible book when I do the review and I write out my thoughts about it. The other stamp set that I decided to use was a stamp set about like strong women, and I used that for the Bright Side Running Club. Here's to strong women, 100% grit. I stamped Try Your Best and Have Fun, stamped it in black, and then decided that I should stamp it in green. So I stamped it in green, and now I'm going to move on to adding in some trees. I got that new stamp set from Paper Person Shop, and I don't think it's available anymore because it's sold out so quickly. But I'm excited to add some trees just like the book cover, and I wound up adding a kind of light green stalk and a darker green tree top, I guess, and it looked like broccoli. So eventually it's going to bug me so much that I am going to go ahead and fix it because I just can't get over the fact that it looks like broccoli. So I am going to fix it at some point and also add a black Here's to Strong Women, because I felt like the orange was really bright and it kind of took away from the book image and my cluster down there. And same thing with the tree up there, up at the top. It looks like half a broccoli. So I couldn't do it. Because of the Barry Squires book and how it had to do with movement and dancing, I pulled out my Markup stamp set with all the arrows, and it had the kind of like slash marks, and I thought that would be perfect for anchoring the trees. And so you saw me just do that a little bit ago with the orange and stamping that, and I thought that was a brilliant idea I had to kind of give another use to those stamps. So I stamped some arrows in red. I don't know if you saw that, but I stamped them in red, and I was like, nope, that's not going to work. So I'm going to wind up fussy cutting them out on the dark green ink. Because to me, when I look at that book cover, I see a little bit of red in the lettering of Full Tilt. But in the end, I decided, you know what, I'm not going to include that. I'm just going to stick with the dark green and the gray and the black, and not make it too complicated on myself. I also added in some larger arrows to again add to the movement and the overall feeling of the book. Here I am cutting out the arrows that are now green so that way I can cover up the red ones, because yeah, red's not going to work. It just pulls too much away from the spread, and I didn't want that. Next, I am going to get a little marker happy and start filling in a bunch of stuff. So I fill in the spots on the have with a black pen. Don't know why I did that. I think at this point I still thought I was going to keep the black sentiment, and I think I should go back and put the black in. I wound up putting in the green later on. I also filled in the 1 over on the ribbon, and then I decided, hey, why don't I make the fun orange letters? I don't know why. I couldn't stop thinking of it being Halloween. So I think that's why in the end I decided, you know, I have to go with the green because it's not going to work as a Halloween looking stamped phrase. Next up is going to be fixing the broccoli trees. I stamped them with a different shade of pink, so like pink lemonade, and then I will fussy cut them out and add to them. And then I get a brilliant idea on how to use another one of the tree trunk stamps, and that's what I like to share with you, is just different ways you can think outside the box with your stamps. So I thought it would be fun to add some grass, but not in in the same green color that I had been using. So I got out the deeper green and took one of those tree pieces or tree trunks, and I went ahead and stamped little blades of grass. So just a few of them down by the orange, and I love how it came out. It was such a clever way, I feel like, to add a little bit more of that like the green color that is on both of the pages. Okay, so now is the fun part. I'm going to talk about the book, and this book was just absolutely incredible. I think everybody should read it. I was actually researching books. I research my books. Leave a comment if you are like me and research your books. But that is what I do. And I was researching a book for the Bloom Challenge, and it had to be the decade you grew up in. And I found a book, this book, and it takes place in 1995. I grew up in the 90s, and it is about Finbar Barry Squires, who is 12, and he is absolutely hysterical, awkward, and just no filter. And his family is amazing. The characters are so dynamic, and I know that I added in more journaling in this process video, but I really wanted to share my full thoughts on this book because I just love it so much. So it's really a fantastic story about, Barry coming to terms with being a teenager and dancing with some seniors. And it also covers a lot of, I think, prevalent 90s issues because you're really sucker punched towards the end. Can't give it away, but it is an all-time favorite book for this year. And I find it incredible. So go check it out if you can. Now, the quote I picked was, "The army men marched through my brain all day long. They were angry. They ransacked my thoughts, tossing them aside and breaking them in two." I felt like that was a perfect summarization of him as a 12-year-old. He has so much going on, but also has no filter in what he says, and he's very honest, and that's still a very kid-like quality. And so I love this book. It is a gem, and I'm so glad that I found it. I love it. So The Bright Side Running Club was a little bit more serious, but Stephanie Howell read the book and raved about it, and so I knew it was going to be a really good book, and it was. It's about Kira and how she receives her cancer diagnosis, and there's a step-by-step process in the book going through each of her stages, which is hard, obviously, but it also shows how brave she is and how she winds up kind of falling into a group of women that are really uplifting, and she just finds her tribe of people who can totally relate to the absolute worst situation, but also give her incredible strength. So it was a really fantastic book, and I loved both of these books, and I hope you guys have enjoyed seeing another book favorites video. I would love a thumbs up or a subscribe if you're new to my channel. All right, have a great day. Bye.